The next method of integration is integration by parts, which you may call product rule of integration. We will derive it from product rule of differentiation. So this is the product rule of differentiation. Now let us integrate both sides with respect to dx. So here we are. Now here, we know this is ux dot vx. Now how come? Whenever we have to find out integral of any function, just like integral of sine x, what goes in your mind? Whose derivative is sine x? Because finding integral is just the reverse process of differentiation. So whose integral is sine x, then you actually recall whose differentiation is sine x, and that is actually equals to minus cos x. This is how you work. So here also, if you have to find out integral of this function, then you have to find out whose derivative is this function. So whose derivative is this? That's quite simple here, ux and vx. That's why the left hand side reduced into this, and here we have means we can write it like this only. We cannot sort it up because again it's a sort of finding out integral of product of these two functions, no? So we'll write it as it is. So I wrote it like this, and here I have written one more step where I just shifted this to this side, and means one of them to this side, and one is on the one remained on its side only, and a formula reduced to this. Now we can take this as the product rule, but see, so integral of product of two functions can be given by this format. But again, this is not the simplified version, no? Whenever you are given two functions, something like x into sine x, okay, so you'll be given one function and the other function, not in this format, no? So let's reduce it into the form this one, this form, ux gx dx, no? So that this can actually be looked as the formula for the product of two functions, no? See this, it should be something like this, no? So for that, what do we need to do? We just need to let this as gx or fx or whatever, tx, mx, nx, anything, no? So what are we gonna do? Let the derivative of the function vx with respect to dx be gx, say. Okay, so what does this mean? If the derivative of a function is gx, so we can say the integral of means we can simply say that vx is integral of this, no? Or if you want to proceed mathematically, so we can say take integral of both sides, as these are two equivalent functions, so their integral is gonna be same. So here this, so which implies this, no? Now this value can be substituted, in the above equation, no? Okay, so we are gonna replace this by gx. Okay, so there should not be any v function here now. So let's substitute. So which implies here we have integral of ux into gx. We replace this by gx with respect to dx is actually equals to, this is ux here and gx. Now here we can say here this is vx, no? So there should not be any vx. So vx is integral of gx, no? And then minus, let me write it here. Okay, then minus, now what do we have? Integral of this is your Vx. We do not want any Vx, no? So what do we have here? Um, instead of we can write it like this. So integral of gx dx, no? And then here we have d by dx of ux, and then dx. Okay, now there are too many brackets here. We can simplify it by writing this as first. Why there is a need of putting this bracket? Because integral is still here only, no? So we can write it like we can shift this before and that later, and this will take the form. So this so integral of product of two functions is equals to first function into integral of second function, and minus derivative of first function, integral of second function, and then again integral of their product. This rule is not very simple to apply, because here again we get the product of two function, because derivative of one function is gonna be another function, no? And integral of some function is again a function, and here we will get again product of two functions. So are we going to be in any kind of loop? Yes, there are many problems, and there are ways to come out of those also, but the things simplifies themselves if we choose the first and the second functions carefully. Okay, we should choose first function in such a way that after taking out derivative, it's easy to find out integral of these two functions. How come? Let's discuss this with an example. Suppose we have tan inverse tan inverse x into x. Suppose we have to find out this. Okay, so what is your formula? Basically, as per our formula, what do we have? If we have two functions and we have to find out their derivative, okay, so the formula is we have to write down first function as it is, then we have integral of second function, no, and then we have integral of two functions where the first function is the derivative of this into integral of this, and then their products integration, no? So we should choose first function. Here we will not have any problem, no? We can easily integrate a single function. We have so far we have done many things, no? But here we have to integrate afterwards, means first we have to find out derivative and integral, then we have to further integrate. So when we sort it up, we should get a conducive function so that we can integrate it. Sorry, here you can see that. So the example was x, tan inverse x and dx, and first function, second function, first function into integral of second function, and then integral of the product of two functions where the first one is the derivative of first function mentioned here, and the integral of second function mentioned here. Okay, so I was talking about this, that this is easy to find out because we can integrate any single function, but here we have to integrate the product of these two functions. Okay, so the first function chosen should be so that afterwards the integration does not create any problem, this broader one integration, no? Okay, so what should we choose here? See, if we choose tan inverse x as the first function, So what would be its derivative? Its derivative is gonna be 1 over 1 plus x square, no? And here we are again going to get integral of this x is going to be it's x square over 2. Okay, so that would ease, because we have this will reduce to, this bracket will reduce to x square over 2 into 1 plus x square dx, this thing. Now, so this is gonna reduce to this one, and we have learned how to deal with them. No, so that's why if you have been given a question like this, so please do not proceed with taking this as the first function and that as the second function. You must focus on this part. Okay, so the choice of first and second function should be properly analyzed by looking at this. Means in which scenario this is going to give us a simplified function. So here we have a rule in means in this integration by parts, that we should choose the first function in this order. Where I is inverse trigonometric function. Inverse trigonometric function, you know that, tan inverse, sine inverse, cos inverse. Okay, then L is logarithmic function. Okay, and then this is your algebraic function, like x square, x cube, means you can say the polynomial function also. And here we have our trigonometric function like sine, cos and all. Okay, and then this E is our exponential function. So this can be e raised to power x, a raised to power x, e raised to power 3x, something like that. Okay, the reason which I can see here is that inverse trigonometric function and logarithmic function, they reduces to algebraic function after differentiation. So whenever you have here we had inverse trigonometric function and algebraic function, so this one and this one. So what should be the choice of first function, means which is getting differentiable here? That should be your inverse trigonometric function. This, in this order, we actually choose our first function. That eases the process. However, this is not a very hard and fast rule. At times the rule may differ, but I have told you the funda. The thing is, you must focus on this part here. Okay, so that choice should be considered, which ease us with this process. Okay, now let us discuss one example to integrate of integration by parts. So here we have a question, integration of the two function x and sine x with respect to dx. So as per the formula, integration of two functions first and second with respect to dx is first function into integration of second minus whole integral of derivative of first and integral of into integral of second function. No, so here as per Eilert rule, this, what do we have? We have x, which is our algebraic function. Okay, and what else do we have? We have sine x here, which is your trigonometric function. So what should be our first function? Algebraic function, means x, here x should be our first function. So so here this should be kept right like this. Okay, and the first function is x and the second function is this. So derivative of x into, here we have sine x dx and then whole integral of their product. And here we know the integral of sine x is minus cos x. Okay, and this is here minus, and then we have this is 1, so we are only left with sine x dx, and which is here minus x cos x minus integral of minus cos x dx. No? Here you must be thinking that why am I not adding c here, because integral of any function, while finding out integral of any function we do add c, because that can actually be because this can be derivative of many function. So integral of this function are many functions, no? So in integration by parts we do not add c. The only reason is if I add it here and here also, because I'm integrating, then I'm again integrating, and so they actually cancels. Anyways, I'll explain it in a specific video made for this thing. Why do not we add c in integration by parts? Okay, we do not add here, and for this integration we only add for this one integration. We will discuss this in the next video. Here the answer now we have integration of cos x is minus minus plus, and integration of cos x is sin x, and now we will add c. So here we have the answer for this integral of x sin x dx.